you're right. There's not a lot of splashy additions, and no, the biggest splash will probably be next summer when they have more cap space and everything. And what Wild fans hope is signing a Kirill Kaprizov will be the biggest next summer. So, but yeah, as far as from a writing standpoint, there wasn't a ton of new guys to tackle. We'll tackle some of them in training camp, Yakov Trenin and obviously the prospects that are going to make a run at the roster spot.
For sure. And I mean, to your point, the Kaprizov negotiations looming. A lot of Wild fans had big reactions to the Leon Draisaitl contract, getting $14 million, which is no joke. That resets the market. I know Russo tried to downplay it a little bit and didn't think that it's directly comparable or that Kaprizov would get, necessarily what Draisaitl did. Then we've got Elliot Friedman, who thinks otherwise and thinks like he named specifically Kirill Kaprizov and, of course, Rantanen over with the Colorado Avalanche being in the midst of negotiations. What are your thoughts here? Like, does the Draisaitl contract have a big impact on what we do with Kaprizov, or is it more so just like a side note?
Well, like Leon Draisaitl is obviously one of the top maybe 3 players in the world, like he and his playoff success, was other than like Kucherov, like has been really good. I mean, he's been up one of the best there too. And so
I think he's been the best, hasn't he?
Yeah. I mean, I think, well, like the runs that Kucherov had on like were unbelievable, like in those cup runs. But as far as like Draisaitl got paid what he was worth. And I think he and McDavid are in different categories. Like I think Kirill Kaprizov is clearly the Wild's best player. Clearly, I think one of the top 12 players in the world, like just from watching him. So I think that contract like that, anytime that happens, it does raise the bar a little bit, or at least from the agent's perspective of like, okay, this is a new benchmark for the best. And where does everybody else slot in underneath there? Like McDavid will probably be like 16 or whatever, but like
McDavid's going to be 16. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, then it goes like below that, so
sure.
I think, I think, Kaprizov's going to get paid. I don't think it should be a blank check, but I think he's going to get a bump from what he is now. I don't know if I don't know if he's going to be in that 13, 14 range though. I mean, maybe he has another killer season and they win a playoff round or two and all of a sudden things are different a little bit, but it raises the bar across the league as far as a new benchmark, as high as paid like it does for NFL, right? Quarterbacks, like, well, guy signs and all of a sudden he's the 5th highest paid quarterback 3 weeks later,
Yeah.
So, but I don't know if it necessarily means that, okay, Leon Draisaitl got 14. This means that Kirill's going to go right underneath there, or like, or match it, or I don't think he's going to go past that one for sure. But I think you're looking at obviously in double digits, just more so. I don't think it's going to be at 14. I think it might be. Is it 11? Is it, it depends on how long the term is, right? If it's 11 or 12 or like, it's hard to say right now, but like, I think he's not going to pass Draisaitl and it won't be at 14, but it'll be definitely the highest paid player in franchise history.
Yeah. And I slight counter argument, because I agree with you completely. Like Draisaitl and McDavid are in a tier of their own. I think for Kaprizov, it's different because I think he and his agent are very aware of what he means to the franchise. Mm-hmm. And I do think that there's an extra element there where it's like he's the best player we've ever had. We saw what happened when we let Gaborik walk to free agency. It's just a little bit more nuanced, and it's a deal getting signed a year later. Like if the cap goes up enough, maybe there is more flexibility or he's going to push for it. And we're never going to know this, but I would love to know what the line is that Billy Guerin would draw in the sand for, like, here's the number at which we walk away and decide we're going to trade him, right? Because I'm of the mind that I think it's going to be 13 something. That's where my head's at, but I hope that you're right, because that would be way better.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, he's already over 9 now, right? So, like, going to 12 is not that far, right? Or like, not that much considering where the cap is and where it's going up. And like you said, it is kind of the tax of, pay a little higher, because I'm not necessarily you have to overpay, but like, you want to keep your best player here. And you want to be able to especially if it's a longer term deal, right? Like if he goes 8, like we're talking like, major deal. Like if he wants to go 5 or whatever, what the AV might be, but
Sure.
he I think he realizes in the scheme of things, and we'll be writing it all year. Like this is the clock is ticking. Like this is the year you gotta show them that you can win and compete before getting that point next July where you can sign them. Because hey, I would not blame him at all if he thought long and hard about it, because you only have so many years in your prime in your career, and only have so many chances to win a Stanley Cup. So I haven't heard anything different about him not wanting to stay. It's just more so it's clear as day with the timing of everything, how this year's gonna have to go.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for every post game write up that you and Russo do, having a little footnote that's like, so after this game early November against the Toronto Maple Leafs, here's where we think Kaprizov's thoughts are on whether or not he'd like to stay or leave.
Yeah.
That's what the fans are going to be clamoring for. And they're going to probably write it themselves. You could probably just pluck that right from Twitter.
Oh God. Yeah. The comment section is going to be ridiculous. Have the Kirill meter up, wherever higher, going back and forth.
I'm making a Kirill meter. It's happening.
Yeah. but clearly he's going to get paid, and the Wild are going to do whatever they can to convince him to stay. And I just think that that's why this year is so important for them. They don't have to win the Stanley Cup, obviously, but I think they have to show the sign of progress, and the guys that are building around him and the prospects showing up, and getting to see the goalie of the future and Wallstedt playing more games, which he will. You got to see if you're Kaprizov what they have going forward here. If you want to, there are not many guys in free agency next summer you're going to be able to get. They're not a lot of big names that they're going to be going at, using their cap space on, right? Is there Brock Nelson's out there? I don't know.
Are they going to have cap space?
They'll have some. Yeah, they'll have some. And then, a lot of guys that they have their no move or no trade clauses or go to modified and stuff. So you can also do that. But yeah, they won't have, Draisaitl is going to be a free agent next summer. Mitch Marner will be a free agent next summer, right? They're not going to get Mitch Marner. So, but that's another argument for another day about what they do with their cap space once they get there, unless they sign more people, and then all of a sudden they have no cap space. So
nice. Well, and very out of place, but I actually just spaced on this and realized that the beer I'm drinking right now from Barrel Theory, since it is an evening recording, first one in a while, so I had to have a beer. Break the Bank. How ironic.
Yeah.
How ironic. That is just perfect. Fitting. This is the Kirill Kaprizov beer. It has to be.